Hey everybody, welcome back to the ST3D video. Like always, I am VJ. Today we are going to be installing the new 3.2 Cura software. You can use these steps for any printer out there, but the one I'm going to be fine-tuning Cura for will be the Creality line. You can either use it on the Cr-10 or the Cr-10S, even the Ender or any other Creality line along that way. This will also work for any other printer that has the same build surface. So let's go and get started and not waste any more time. So the first thing you want to do is when you start off is go and show up here to the Santube 3D printing page. The video will be listed here, and while you're here you can check out other videos if you like. But to get started, we're just going to go here and just click on Google. And I will put a link to this at the bottom as well, but just go ahead and type in Cura download, and you're going to click on this one right here. Once you click on this, it's going to bypass all the Ultimaker page where you have to go to resources and downloads and things like that. This will take you to the software download itself. Now for those of you that have Windows, this is the version that you will be downloading. Unfortunately guys, I am on a Mac, so I will be downloading this one. So for all you Windows users, it's basically the same steps. Only difference will be that you need to download it the way Windows does it. Okay, so once you actually click on the version, which was right here, it'll bring up a little box like this and it'll ask you, what are you downloading Cura for? This really doesn't matter, it's just the way of them uh, tracking what it's being used for. So I mean, I usually like to put the right information, but you can just make it up. Now if you notice here under printers, your printer might show up, but the Creality does not. So I'm just going to pick other for now, and here's just going to ask me what brand I am using. So I'm just going to put in Creality, and what am I going to be using for? Let's go with, I don't know, just functional prototypes, I guess. And what country? Of course, we are in the good old USA. There's a bunch of countries on here, so just go ahead and pick whichever one you want. Once you do that, it's going to ask you for first and last name. Fill that out. Now, just to let you guys know, if any of you ever want to get in contact with me, and this is going to be the email that you are going to want to do it at. It is sandvideos2017@gmail.com. Once you enter that in, guys, hit yes right down here. Oh, no. Well, this would be up to you. If you want to get information from them, go and click yes. If not, just go and click on the download button. And once you do that, it's actually downloading it for me. Once it's done downloading, go and click on it. And it's going to extract all the files, everything that it needs necessary to get it installed on your computer. Now, for Windows, like I said, it'll be different, but for Apple, all you do is when you get to this screen, drop the Cura in there, and it's downloading at the moment, extracting all the files one more time, decompressing it. Now, since you have this window open, one thing I will recommend that you do is just go ahead and grab the icon, put it on your desktop, and I believe I have this locked, so I'm gonna have to do this later. But oh no, there it is. So you just basically drop it right in here, and it'll be an easy way to start it up. Okay, so let's go and close everything down and click on Cura. Now for the purpose of this video, I did delete my current version of Cura, which was the 3.2, and I'm reinstalling it so you guys can see. So once you get this message here, go ahead and hit open. For Windows, I don't think you would get that message. Now the first initial startup, guys, it will take a little bit longer because it's installing everything for you, making sure everything is right. Normally the 3.2 is a lot faster to start off with. Now, There it is. Now, when you open it up for the first time, this is not the screen you're going to be given. As you can see, I've already had some um, profiles loaded that I've been working on, but you will be greeted with this screen here. Once you open this up, you will be greeted with this screen. So basically, it's telling you to go and pick your printer. In this case, because we're working with the Creality, it's not listed. I'm going to click on Other, and I'm going to scroll down and pick the Creality Cr-10. Once you do that, go and hit Add Printer. Now, on the older versions, they did not have the Creality. They actually had the Prusa i3. So that was what I was using. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that because we don't need that anymore. And because I had a previous version already, I guess there was a file somewhere and it brought over the Cr-10 as well. That's why I have a number 2 when I just added it in. So I'm going to remove that as well. So this is what we're left with. We are left with the Creality Cr-10. Okay, so once you've added that printer, you'll get this screen right here. And if you do not get that screen, you can just click up here, go to Preference, and click under Printers, and there it will be. From here, we need to go into Machine Settings. If you notice, most of the stuff's already filled out for you. Start, end G code, the X, Y, min, and max. It's already taken care of for you, and I believe there is right here the nozzle point is already at 0.4 filament, or sorry, material is 1.75, which is already there. And if you need to do nozzle offsets, guys, you can actually enter that here. If you want to do your own G code as far as start and end, you can also do that here, but that's a little bit more advanced. So we're just going to keep it simple. We're going to go to printers. Now it's telling you that the X and Y is at 300 and the Z is at 4, which is the printing diameter for the Creality Cr-10 line. What I like to do is just drop it down a little bit, okay, because I don't ever want to print something and it's all the way at the end. So I just drop it down by 2, and if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can leave it at whatever it is. Now make sure the heated bed is turned on. Now for those of you that start your printer and it starts printing in the top left corner, the reason for that is most likely you have that selected. Okay, it says, excuse me, it says origin at center. The center for the Creality Cr-10, guys, is not the middle of the plate. It's actually the top left corner. So when you try to print it, it starts printing here. So you always want to make sure this is checked off. Do not have it checked. Okay, and then you got your heated bed, of course, like we talked about. And everything is, believe it or not, basically good to go. So we're going to close this off. I'm going to go into general setting. I'm sorry, general settings right there. There's a few things you want to know. Right here, for example, it says ensure models are kept apart. Right now, the way things are, if you put 2 models on the bed, they can touch each other, and Cura right now is saying that is okay. But we don't want that. So we're going to click on ensure models are kept apart. And like I said, yours might have this checked off already, but because I've had a previous version, there were certain times where I needed this feature to be taken off. Okay. So that's basically for that. Now, if you already have a profile and you want to upload the profile into Cura, and I will show you how to do that in a little bit, where to download the profile from. But I have 2 profiles here that that I have imported, so I'll show you how to do that right now. So basically, you would go to wherever you download the profile from. If you guys want to download my profile, it is going to be here. Just go to the Facebook group for my page, which you can see here. Once you're on my page here, guys, what you want to do is click on the file section here. Once you do that, there is the profile right there, and you would just click right here and just do download. Okay, once you download it, it's already there, saved. You would go into Cura itself, and again, you're going to go to Preference, Profiles, and you're going to hit Import. Now notice here, I do not have a 0.15 profile set up, so when I hit Import, it's going to look for the file. So I'm going to go under download, and there it is right there. Once you click on that, you hit open, and it's saying successfully imported. There it is. So if I want to use this profile, I can just click right there, and it'll tell me what everything is. Okay. Now also just FYI guys, if you do download a profile, you will not be able to open it in any other program but Cura. So if you're just trying to open it to see what these are, you will not be able to do that in any other program that I'm aware of, except for importing it and opening it into Cura. So there you go on that. And the profile will actually be right here. So once I click on that, it's gonna pop up all the new values for the 0.15. Now, the cool thing about Cura right now that they have done for the Cr-10, the default 0.2 um, profile they have, guys, it's actually very, very good. So for those of you that are just starting off, I would highly recommend that you use their profile, and their profile will be listed up here. Anything you've added will be listed down here. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and click on their 0.2. Their 0.15 is actually works very well as well. So these are all the settings. Of course, you would have to go in there and modify it. If you guys would like to know a little bit more in depth about these settings, what they mean and what to set them at, I will put some links below for the previous Cura programs videos that I've done, and those videos go into detail on what's what and what you might need for different prints. Okay, so let's get going. So you got Cura in here, you've set up your printer, the parameters have been set, so you're basically good to go now. So there's certain features that you need to know about that will make your life very, very easy. So I'm just going to go into download really quickly. Let's go ahead and just do some GoPro models. Okay, so there you go. So when you import this model, you'll notice it's sitting straight up. Now, to move these models, you're going to use these features on the left. Now, because these features are not highlighted right now, the reason for that is you need to actually click on the model, and then these features will come to life. So the first one is to move. You have the green arrow, which goes back and forth. The red goes left to right. And you have the blue, which goes up and down. Or you can manually just click on it, hold it down with the left clicker, and just move it around to where you need it. Okay. Now, the next part is for scaling. If you know, like let's say if you want a model to be exactly 180 on the Z and you don't want it to go any higher than that, once you set it to 180, it'll adjust everything for you. Or if you want your Y to be a certain diameter or your X to be a certain diameter, this is where you would change it. But if you just want to do the percentage, you can actually click on what percentage for what axis, and it'll adjust everything else for you here. Okay, the percentages are normally all going to stay the same, so it'll make it 100 all the way through to stay consistent. And the next one we're going to do is we're going to do rotate. You have the blue from the front view, which is going to basically turn it around, keeping the model where it's at, like so. You got the green, which is basically going to flip it upside down or however you want. So if I wanted to lay this flat, I'll just leave it there, and now it would be flat. But if I wanted to bring it back up to standing where it is, it will do so like that. Now the red right here, I would recommend that you turn to the side, and the red basically turns it as well as far as up and down, depending on what angle you're at. Okay, so there you go. So that's how you can maneuver these prints based on what it is. Now, next step would be if you wanted to, well, in the rotate part also, guys, just to let you know, let's say if you didn't have this feature checked, which I do, it says automatically drop models to the bed plate. What that means is, let's say if I uncheck this, when I click here and go to move, I can actually move this model Oops, a little too much. I can actually move this model up and notice it will not be touching the floor. Okay, so you can do it to where it says lay flat, and that will bring it down here. Sometimes it might change it based on how the STL file was downloaded, but notice nothing happens. Okay, normally it's supposed to come down here. So if you guys run into that, it's you go under Cura, you go to Preference, General, and just make sure this part is checked off. And now it's automatically on the floor, as you can see. The snap rotation, basically what it is if you notice the numbers, it goes to 15 to 30 to 45. So it does increments of 10. If you uncheck this, because sometimes you don't want the model to be here, you just want it a little bit less. So when you uncheck that, you can actually move it 1 degree at a time. So if you notice, it goes 4, 5, 6, 7, and I can do it to however I want. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and check that back on. Mirror basically means if you want to flip the model. So right now you see these three prongs are facing to the left. If I flip it, it's going to go to the right. Now, if I want to flip it upside down, I can do that as well. Because they're the same, yeah, you won't really see it. But there you go. So this is what mirroring does. This feature right here, I usually use it when I have multiple prints. So let me go ahead and load another one in here. Okay, so now, for example, I have two models here. Now, depending on which one you have selected, I'm going to go and click on the little one. I'm going to go to Select Settings. What this does is if you want both one printer or one model to have one particular settings and the other one to have different settings, let's say if you want to change the line width on this one, or let's say you want to, I don't know, let's see what else they got. Infill density. So let's say you want to make this stronger than that one. The patterns that you're using inside, you want it different. Once you go through and select everything, also we'll just do flow as well. Now, there might be certain things that aren't showing up here. This is basically what you have here. If you want to see everything, click on Show All, and it'll bring up everything that Cura has to offer right there. Okay, so once you've selected everything, you can actually do line width. Let's say you don't want it at 0.4, which the other model has. You can change it to 0.3, oops, 0.3, and let's say the infill density, you want this to be 100%, okay? So you can do that there, and instead of triangles, you want lines for the infill pattern. And on the flow, I don't know why you would change that, but let's say you want to go down to 98, okay? So if you notice here, when I click on this model, nothing is there. When I click on this model, it shows up all the different settings that I've changed on top of these. So these will replace the settings here. So for line width, it'll be a 0.3, and even though you have line width here, it'll be a 0.4. So this will print at a 4, this will print at a 3. And one easy way I can show you is what we're going to talk about next. You want to go and click here from solid view to layer view. And this is what's going to do is basically show you layer by layer on what's what. So if we just go ahead and go up here and scroll down, trying to get to the last part. Okay. So if you notice right here, the infill infill itself, this was set to 20%, and that's why you have these triangles. But here it was set at 100% with the lines. So if you notice here, that's the support for the infill. But on this one, it basically is going to fill up everything because we want it 100% solid. So you see right here, line by line, everything's filled up. While here, it's not. And there it is. So that's the first layer right there, and then and then you get the support right there, or sorry, the infill, and then it goes back to being solid at the top. And that's how you go to layer view. Okay, now a few things that we do need to go over again. One would be how to do the viewing. Okay, now Cura has this pretty cool feature that they added. It's called Quick View, I believe. But if you notice right here, the dark side of the screen is what we're going to be using. So here when you click, it takes you to the top view at an angle. This one's going to give you the front view. This is going to give you the top view. This one is the left view, and this is from the right side. Okay. Just to let you know, this blue and green and red right here, that should always be towards the left, and this is what your panel will look, or your bed will look like when you're actually printing. Alright, so a few move around features or functions to move things around. If you hold down the shift key and left click and hold it down, you can actually move the build plate to wherever you need. The reason you would use this, let's say if I zoomed in, I can hold it down and just bring it up or down, however you wanted to do it. To move around like so you can manually move the angles from left, right, top, bottom to up, you basically just hold down the right clicker on your mouse and move that sucker around. Okay, so those are like the two basic get around features I guess you will need. The third one will be the mouse. There's a little wheel, or if you're using a trackpad, you just use your two fingers, you move it up or down and it'll zoom in and out like so. And this is very important when you're actually switching to the layer view because you can see everything there. Um, so there's only one more thing that I want to go over with you guys, but as of right now, as a recap, we know how to import models. You just click on this little folder here, find where they're located. We know how to import profiles. Once you do that, you can select them down here. But like I said, the Cura default, the 0.2 guys is amazing. So for those of you that are fairly new, please use this to start off with. Just go ahead and change a few things like the amount of infill you want or the temperature you want. Um, Support is here. Once you click on generate support, it will bring up the remaining um, things you can edit in there. If you don't want any supports, you can just uncheck it and it'll be there. Tree support is something new. I will be making a video on that soon, guys. So watch out for that. Now, the one thing about Cura, for those of you that are new, that is very, very annoying. Actually, there's two things. One, they can't get the time right to save their life. This print is not going to take 3 hours. It's actually going to take a little bit longer than 3 hours. I normally just multiply an extra, whatever the time is, I just do another half. So in this case, let's say if it's 3 hours, it's going to take me 4.5 hours to do so. Um, But if the most and the other annoying thing about Cura that I really hate is if you notice here the slicing. Anytime I move anything, okay, click on move. Now anytime I move something around, it's gonna reslice. If I just move a little bit, it reslices. So that actually slows Cura down a little bit, and it doesn't give you a smooth transition to move stuff around. Like see right here, it's not doing it because it's slicing. So one cool thing that I like, I don't know if Cura ever had this before, but I just found out about it. If you click on preference and go to general, right here where it says slice automatically, take that off. Okay, and if you do that correctly, you should be able to move it around and see it's not slicing. But now you'll see there's a prepare button right here. So look at how easily I can move things around with no lag, no nothing. So once you do that and you move everything around to where you need it, you just hit prepare and that's when it's going to slice for you. That, guys, I recommend you disable this feature very first thing that you do, because it's just really annoying, because you can move it around so much and it doesn't slice until you're ready to go. Okay, and it's not necessarily two models, it could just be one. You want to move it around to whatever you want. So that's a pretty cool feature that I would recommend that you guys do, to just move that. Now, the only catch to that is when I go into layer view, because I just recently moved it. Um, you see right here, I moved it here, but it's trying to give me a layer view here. So it's trying to do both, and it can't do that. So what I would recommend that you do is, well, actually, you have to do this. Once you go back to solid mode, and when you have all your stuff ready to where you want it, go ahead and click on prepare. And once you do that and it's done, then you can go into layer view, and voila, there it is right there. It only gives you layer view for the one particular model that you have here instead of both now, because you actually hit prepare and you told the program that you want everything there. So there you go. And unless I'm forgetting something, guys, I think that's basically it as far as the basic functions. That's going to help you a lot. Again, if you want to know about these, I'll put links at the bottom. I will be coming out with the multiple, or actually I'll be coming out with multiple videos on Cura. We're going to do the cool new features that I didn't cover in detail on the first videos. So I'm just going to be talking about the differences, what they've added. Also, I'm going to do a whole separate video on support. I know, guys, you've been contacting me about that. I'm sorry it's taking me so long, but I got everything fine-tuned. I'm going to talk about regular supports and the new tree support feature, which I think is amazing. I basically use this now for about 80% of my prints out there. Besides that, I'm gonna do a video on my settings for Cura, for ABS, and for PLA. Um, so just watch out for those videos. I'm gonna have a lot of videos, maybe about 4 or 5 videos coming out soon, just on how to use the 3.2. And I think the 3.2, they changed a lot. There's a lot of good features on here that will help newcomers uh, to get it going. One last thing, totally forgot. Along with the time here, it actually does tell you this print how much filament it's going to be required and what it's costing you per roll. So to change that, you just again go to preference, click on material, and which one did I pick? So right here under custom, I clicked on PLA, and this part normally will not be filled out, so you'll have to fill it out yourself. So I'm telling them a roll of filament for me is $23.99. That's just an industry average from the cheapest one to the higher end ones. This is what you get. Now normally one spool, which is 2.2 pounds or 1 kg, comes out to be 1,000 grams. So once you do that, because this thing measures in grams, once you do that, it will break it down for you and give you the cost of what each print or each model is costing you. That's kind of cool to kind of just keep track. And for those of you that print as a business for other people, this will give you an overhead cost of what you're looking at as well. So that's basically it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video on how to install and basic features of Cura 3.2. There's a lot more videos coming, like I said. If you have any questions, comments, please leave it down below. I respond to every comment that I get. And if you want to see more new content, guys, go and subscribe to the channel. This channel is here just to help you guys out, mainly the new people to the 3D printing industry. And with that said, like always, guys, good luck and happy printing.